Let me know how many seconds I got.
Turn my phone on.
Like very few.
Very few.
Screen is up already.
We.
Just
Here we go. Turn it on.
okay. So I was not even expecting that. So I
thought I had issues.
I wanted to cut bait, and I was kind of relieved because then that's unnecessary baggage that I did not really want. And when you start growing, you start realizing some things. There are certain things I don't need, and there's certain things I want. And to discover what you need and what you want when you're in your early 20s is quite quite amazing, especially when you're 21, 22, to start learning what I do need and what I want was two different. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mind of a Man. Last week we were talking about. Gentlemen, y'all gonna leave me hanging?
Stop trying to change me.
There you
Y'all
go. I
trying to
wanted that
change me.
intro. I wanted
Stop
y'all
trying to change me.
I wanted y'all to be excited about that.
Yes.
Stop trying to
I
change
watched
me.
it. I wasn't impressed. I watched it though.
All right.
Yep.
So stop trying to change me was an interesting subject, and what we learned at the end is that change can be healthy. There are changes that are unhealthy, and there are changes that are healthy. And this week's topic is very interesting because it led us from stop trying to change me to stop playing mind games. And people who are in relationships can relate to mind games or manipulation or deception is a better word. So, so when we get a understanding and a revelation of somebody's deceiving or being manipulative, and these mind games are continually, something has to occur. Something has to happen on your behalf. But before we get there, there was a question asked, but I'm going to give you a little homework here. The subject is coming out of Judges, 16th chapter, verse 5, and it has to do with our strong man, our man that we a lot of people want to be built like or be strong like, and it's Samson, and it has to do with Delilah. And if the subject is stop playing mind games, in this particular chapter, we see him playing at the utmost of the mind games. But before I get there, as I said, there was a question that was asked. And the question was this: what purpose or role does a wife play, and what purpose and role does a husband play? So I had to go in and do a little homework here. And these are some of the things that I have put down to answer that. What role do they play?
Okay.
So which one y'all want to start off? Do you want me to start off with the husband's role or the wife's role?
Wife's role.
Yeah, ladies first.
Ladies first, huh?
Ladies
You heard
first.
it. You heard it loud. Ladies first, right?
We gentlemen over here.
So, what I've written down, and we're going to probably expound on this if one of my gentlemen want to chime in, is the role of the wife. All right. The number one thing is written is be a helpmate unto him.
Right.
And I put in parentheses, agree to put his needs before your own, ladies. Okay? Number two, I put, and this is a biggie, especially for men. Hint, hint, if you don't know, this is a big thing for men. Respect your husband. Let me say that again. Respect your husband. And I put this in A, build his self-confidence. That's a very important thing for men. Build his self-confidence. B, to be listened to. He is to be listened to. C, his companionship is needed. And then D, he is to be needed. He needs to be felt like he is needed, right? My number 3, love your husband. And I'm not talking about the physical part. Love your husband. The Bible will say, love your husband. And that means in that marriage, you put that marriage first. When I told you put him first, you put that marriage first for caring about him. Mm-hmm. He is the head of the household. He is a priority.
Right.
And in that, it's having that selfish need that I should care so much about what he cares about.
Correct.
Because if I care about what he cares about, he's going to care definitely about and should care about what I care about.
Oh yeah.
Love your husband. Number 4.
Preach.
This is another big one, ladies. Submit to your husband's leadership. I cannot say that enough. Submit to your husband's leadership. He is the head of the household. Submit to his leadership. Inside there, I put a big A. And this is one of the things I put. Healthy communication.
Yes.
And leadership, you have to have communication. And it has to be healthy. You can disagree. You don't have to agree to everything. Mm-hmm. But how you communicate is one of the utmost important things in that marriage. Here's another big one in that leadership husband role. If you have children, I don't say stepchildren, I said if you have children in this relationship, there's nothing step about it. Children are to be in a healthy parenting environment. Notice I say parenting. You know, somebody's like, you got a mother here, you got another father here, and they want to put the step in for. No, be a parent. Think of that child, even if it's not your biological child, as your own child.
Yep.
Right? Because the one that you're married to is expecting that from you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I put shared responsibility with children. That's
Right.
a 2-part thing.
Yeah.
Responsibility
Mm-hmm.
within the household and the children.
Mm-hmm.
So ladies, you got that part, right?
Okay.
So now we're gonna roll on to the men.
Okay, bring it on.
We get ready to roll deep now.
Yeah, let's smooth down a few egos.
So, the role of a husband. Number 1, I put protect her physically, and get this one, men, emotionally. That's very hard for men to do, especially because my number 2 takes you almost to my number 1. My number 2 that men have to do is communicate to her daily, right? They speak. If you have over 35,000 decisions you're making every day, they speak almost 50,000 words a day, where we only speak maybe 15 to 25,000 words a day. So that's a lot of information coming at you, but she needs to communicate. That's who she is. She communicates, right? So you have to communicate with her daily, which helps her, which when I said number 1, with the emotional part. You don't always have to fix everything, but your attentive ear is the most important thing to her.
Yeah.
I need you to listen. I don't always need you, what she's saying, I don't always need you to fix everything, but I do need you to listen. Okay? So our number 3 is learn to be her best friend. When you're being with someone day in and day out and they're telling you personal secrets or things that their mom and dad probably don't know, or so-called associate or best friend don't really know, but you're sharing your bed with them and your thoughts and your dreams, they need to be your best friend.
Right.
Right? Not to say that you don't have male friends to kick it with, but we're saying they need to be your best friend.
Correct.
Right? Besides God. Provide financial stability for her. most people do not understand when you read the Bible the reason why men were supportive of the woman, the weaker vessel.
Mm-hmm.
The Hebrew culture would leave, right, to prepare a house and then come back. That's where we get about Yeshua, about he leaves and comes back, about the bride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He leaves, he's preparing a place to receive his bride.
Right.
So that's why you handle her financial stability, because guess who actually had her first? Dad provided that. So that's why dad passes off the bride when he says, who takes this woman?
Mm-hmm.
And he steps away, because now it's his responsibility to take care of his precious daughter.
Right.
So provide financially for her. Number 5, respect your wife. There are people out there that don't respect their wives.
Mhm.
They don't. The way they talk to them and the way they treat them. So we need to respect their wives. 6, be sensitive to her needs, her thoughts, and her feelings. That's that emotional part where we don't get that emotional. We're like, honey, is it really that serious? Well, to them, it probably is. But to us, it's like, that don't faze me. What that got? So what? She talking about you? No, but you don't understand. We need to have a little more sympathy and understanding to support their emotional needs, thoughts, and feelings.
Right.
Accept her faults. And we all have them. Get to know them and deal with them. The old ad is saying about the woman who got mad at her husband because he kept leaving his clothes on the floor, and then finally she's like, I'm not picking that up no more. I ain't doing it no more. It drove me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't doing it no more. And then finally, after about 3 weeks, he finally picked it up. Why? Because he needed some clothes, so he had to pick them up and then go wash them.
Right.
Know the faults. Know the faults before you get there, and be willing, if that is who you're supposed to be with, be willing to take ownership of that.
Ownership, accountability.
Yeah. And number 8, the new beginning. Number 8, support her interests.
Right.
Support her dream. She not only do you have one, she has one. She's the weaker vessel. Support her. Help her.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her that she's doing a great job. So now that I said the man and the women, any comments, brothers? Did I answer it correctly? Did I give too much?
Well, you know what? You said well, let me say it like this.
You want to?
No.
Okay.
I usually say it much more compact, much more direct, but the way you put it, it expounds on what I said. Because this is what I usually say, and I tell my sons this, and my daughters, when it comes with love and talking about relationships. The most important thing in a relationship is the relationship. You can love all day long, but if that relationship, that friendship isn't there, when the love just feel like it ain't there, the friendship is there to keep it together. But I say this, the way men see love is respect.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how we read love. How women read love is appreciation and protection. Knowing that they're protected, cared for, and they're appreciated. Knowing that you care. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way they see love. And that's just compact. And you just, like you usually do, always put icing on the cake. Come on, my brother. Come on. Now.
Yep.
You have anything?
First, what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to take a picture of everything you put here.
Oh, mercy.
Because it is detailed. It is extremely comprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
Remember a scene from Money Talks. Chris Tucker says, it can get no righter.
Writer.
It can't get no righter.
Right.
Okay? This is detailed. And basically what you said,
Yeah.
I piggyback off of that. I deeply agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like, my daughter's 18. I can teach She graduates from high school tomorrow.
Awesome.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And she's lived with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Awesome.
I can teach my daughter how a man is supposed to treat her,
Right.
but I cannot teach my daughter
Mm-hmm.
how to be a woman, if that makes sense.
Ooh-wee. If someone's watching, that someone's
I can't.
feed's gonna go
That is
up.
why it's imperative to have a female figure in her life
Yes.
that is righteous, that is God-fearing,
Yes.
that
Mhm.
believes in progress,
Yeah.
that believes in love, that knows how a woman is supposed to be treated.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm a big advocate of that.
Yeah.
And this is something I am preaching to my daughter today.
Right.
Okay? This is how a man is supposed to take care of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I'm teaching my daughter, in contrast,
Yeah.
this is how you take care of the house. Get up and go wash the dishes. Take the initiation to do things around the house.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my daughter this all the time because the more you do this, the easier it gets for me. You make things easy for me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
guess what? You're getting paid in return. You're getting a little something in return because daddy sees what you're doing.
Right.
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 Now, has it been a struggle with my daughter? Most absolutely.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
absolutely. I deliberately leave things around the house and see if she's going to take the initiation to pick it up.
Right.
That's
Right.
like-
Right.
Because
right.
eventually, you're going to have your own home.
Yeah.
You're going to get married. Your job, like it says here in I'm going to call this the Bible. Okay?
Bible.
You have to learn as a woman how to take care of home.
Right.
That's your job, to take care of the house and the home while the man, your
Right.
man in your life, is out there in the streets trying to get those bags.
Right.
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 And y'all know what I'm talking about with bags,
Yeah.
right? For those who don't know out there, money, get paid, job.
Yeah.
So,
Job.
job,
It will be.
Business.
job, business.
Yes.
The man brings the bacon home, you distribute it accordingly on how it's supposed to be used to take care of the house. Of course, you can get red bottoms here and there.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah,
get red bottoms here and there. So, I really don't. I mean, this has been broken down so deep. It's like I really got nothing
yeah.
much to say anymore. It's
yeah.
like this is perfect. You know.
Now, he just touched on a whole nother topic that I've been in on Facebook, because there was a topic on Facebook about can a woman raise her son to be a man? Vice versa. So that's another show.
That's for another show.
That's definitely another show. One of the things I'll add for unless we're going to stay on this subject is this. We can put out a lot of information, and one of the things I've learned is that that's wonderful knowing the roles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I'm watching society. The hardest thing for them is knowing how to make a correct choice. Because our subject today is dealing with about a choice, right? So stop playing mind games.
Yep.
So mind games, let me read this to you. Playing mind games, a series of deliberate actions or responses planned, let me re-emphasize that, responses planned for psychological effects on others. Let me read that again. A series of deliberate actions. They're deliberately doing this, or responses planned for psychological effects on another.
Yeah.
And this is what I wrote down. The root of all that is manipulation and control.
Mm-hmm.
Within my parentheses, operating in deception.
Yeah.
The psychiatrist says, say these tactics are used to take advantage or amuse themselves at the expense of other people.
Right.
Now, I'm going to dig a little bit more into that, but one of the things I said is going back to the roles of a husband and wife is that people do not know how to choose correctly. And what did we say about the choice? Is like a lot of times you don't choose properly because you don't have all the information.
Correct.
So if you got limited information and a choice comes, more than 77% of the time, you're going to make a poor choice. Why?
Right.
Because you're operating with limited information.
Right. Right.
The more information you have, the more you're able to make a wiser choice or, as we say, a better choice,
Yeah.
right? So when it comes to a man or a woman, we have the ultimate choice because the Bible tells us,
Right.
about courting, about taking out time in relationship, about, first of all, asking God and to reveal to you if this is the correct person. Right? Because a lot of times we're making decisions. I'm let me say this to you, those who are out there, I'm 100% guilty of making the decision with my eyes, right? When I was younger, I made a whole lot of decisions with my eyes. And I will tell you that they were the wrong decisions. But until I got knee deep involved in it, I thought it was a good decision because I was basing it, a lot of it, on the physical and not understanding anything spiritual, not understanding anything mental, but my flesh having a desire to want to be pleased. All right, and not even understanding about the other person's emotional feelings or anything of integrity, because at this particular point, if truth be told, I'm even operating on deception. Because I got one thing on specifically that I'm looking at, right? So I'm even operating on deception. And nevertheless, she's operating on deception as well because there's a perception is given off.
Right.
Why? So I can receive or so I can be involved in something that I have no business being involved in the first place. But
Right.
I am willing to get involved in that because I think this is what I want
Right.
Right.
until I get it.
Yeah.
And then I get it. Can I be truthful with you?
Come on.
Then I can't handle it.
Right.
Because the emotional baggage and everything coming with it is too much for me to handle.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think all this was coming with that. Would you-
False expectations. So your deception gave you had expectations, but those expectations were false expectations because you can't expect them to be how you already think they should be.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. True.
So do y'all want to stay in that role of a wife and husband that I just answered about? Or do we want to move into playing mind games?
The roles of the husband and the wife, that's a topic in itself. We could get, if we continue, just my opinion, we're not going to get to mind games today. I tell you that right now, because this is deep.
It sure is.
And I'm learning from it because I'm getting married next year. I'm learning from this. Like, okay, it's funny. I read my Bible yesterday. I read things about marriage, the do's and don'ts of marriage, and how to make your marriage better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I read that yesterday, and it was a list of things to make your marriage better and improve constantly. I did a screenshot of it and sent it to my lady. Baby, we should use this as our, I don't want to say house rules, but maybe home policy.
Yeah.
I'll call it like a home policy.
Yeah.
Baby, that's the right word if you're out there listening. Policy.
Yeah.
Going into this thing next year.
Yeah.
Okay? So, this is deep.
mean,
I don't know how
feel
you
it in
feel,
my spirit.
Michael.
I feel it in my spirit.
Right. I don't know how you feel about this, Michael, but I feel like we should go into mind games. Because this topic right here, I would love to be involved with this topic if I'm brought back. I'm going to put it out there right now.
Y'all brothers
You
always
know,
will.
So, I don't
Mind
know,
games?
Michael. Mind games.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
mind games.
Yeah. Yeah, mind games.
So, which one of you have ever had mind games? So let's do some background first,
Okay.
because I came with Judges chapter 16, verse 5, and it's dealing with Samson and Delilah.
Okay.
Okay, so in this particular juncture of chapter 16,
I know that story.
we
Yeah, I know.
think everyone heard of this story, I believe, one time or another.
Samson
So-
got played.
All right. So at this particular juncture, Samson's there, and he's with Delilah, and what has transpired was Philistines came to approach her and say, "Hey, look, I give you 1,100 pieces of silver. You know, I'm going to matter of fact, I'm just gonna give you the whole bank. But we need this. Basically, we need this. I need to take care of this cat named Samson because he done did too much stuff to us, right? We need to make an example. I need to know how I can get to him, find his weakness. You need to find his weakness for me. This is what is boiling down in a nutshell. So she goes to him and says, Samson, if you love me, check it out now. If you love me, you would do this for me, right? You will tell me where your strength is hidden. Right. How many times have in your younger years, I ain't gonna say right now, because we're a lot more mature. In your younger years, somebody says to you, if you love me, you would do this for me. Hold on now. How you gonna put some conditions on me
I
like
got that a lot in high school.
If you love me, you would do this for me.
I got that.
Hold on.
Let's go even further. It ain't just the girls. It ain't just the girls in college. If your own mama,
Okay, all right.
let's raise the bar. This goes on so many levels. This
Right.
is going on so many
I
levels
haven't
right
gotten
now.
to the church yet, but I'm just saying.
Mama, my mother will say it to me. If you love your mother, you would do it. Now, like if your
Love
mother,
the
she
accent.
just said that to me 3 weeks ago.
She
If you
blackmailed you.
right,
She just
and I'm like,
put you out there.
now you know doggone well you can't say no to your mama.
Right.
If you love your mother, you will do it. I'm not going to ask you anymore. I am telling you. So prove it if you love your mother. And I'm sitting there like
she pulled the whole card.
she
on
pulled
you.
she pulled the mama. I said, Mama, you do realize that's cheating, right? That is cheating on so many levels. It's not cheating, it's the truth. And I'm like, okay, Mom, fine. All right. And then when that teardrop come out, or she act like she wants to cry, it's like, all right, Mama, you got it. That's a mind game to me.
Right, because she already knew what she was going to ask was going to be either difficult or you didn't want to do it. So she automatically, she's like, I'm going to play my trump card off. Matter of fact, you can drop whatever you got. I'm playing all straight spades. You ain't got nothing to cut 'em. I'm coming with the A game. And then she's like, if you love me, you would do this.
Yeah.
and you're right. You're not going to refute that. You're going to go
Right.
and do whatever it takes.
And it's applicable to girlfriends as well. If you have a girlfriend or you're dating,
Yeah, especially
of course.
Wives get you.
You know,
and they don't even have to
and
say
of course, me and my lady Money, we talked about it the other day. She said, "Baby, if I want something from you, I know what to do to get it from you."
Oh.
And I know what to do to
you
get
been
it from
over
you.
there too
So it's
silent, so
like,
you got to come
and
with
I'm
it now.
like, okay, and then I'm like, what? She ain't lying, but when you think about it from a strategic standpoint,
Yeah.
it is mind games. She plays it. She knows what she wants. By the time I know it, I paid for 3 red bottoms.
Okay,
Right.
so you
for
over
me-
there, you being silent.
Right.
For me.
So, yeah,
Michael,
that's it.
let me see.
Yes,
Let me
yes.
get yours.
So, first marriage.
Yeah.
We're dating. I think we dated for about 6 months. We decided to get married
Right.
pretty quick. And I started having reservations. And I said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't, do this right away. Maybe we should just wait. I still want to get married, but maybe we should wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes over with a box. Everything that I bought her. Here, you can take this. If you love me, you would marry me. You wouldn't have to wait.
Oh, that's cold-blooded.
cold-blooded. Yeah, that's
We were
cold-
thinking the same
that's
thing. I'm
cold-blooded.
like, that's
And I'm
cold-blooded.
Like, well, I do love you, but I just don't know if it's right. Then it made me rethinking, like, well, I do love her. If I do love her now, I'm going to love her then, so we might as well go ahead and do it. And we did it. We got married. It was all crazy, but, God was speaking to me, and I didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? Because what we're talking about and the question can kind of
Interface each other.
interface each other.
Yes,
you
sir.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if I'm gonna be the husband, I'm the answer man.
Right.
I get the answers in that brain. You know what I'm saying? That's
And-
why God told Adam the rules, and Adam was supposed to take it to Eve.
Right.
That's why when Eve took of the apple, nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
They still knew they were naked, but when he didn't listen, and he allowed himself to be manipulated by Eve, and she told him, "I did it."
Yeah, that goes on to a whole nother subject. Because if I was teaching that subject, I would if I'm going to play the advocate like that, I would say, imagine him thinking, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to die, I love you so much that I'll die with you. I'll take whatever penalty comes because I won't let you die by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine that concept, even though you're willing to defy the living God for someone who is come from your flesh, who you're married to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you're willing
Mm-hmm.
to destroy your own self, and even including humanity, for her, right?
And that's exactly what he did.
And to have that mindset. But I want you to go back because it was a mind game.
Yeah.
You know, game recognized game. So
Mhm.
so Lucifer played his.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
She
without a
played
doubt.
him,
Oh yeah.
right? And he got caught. He got caught at the bottom of the realms by himself, holding the bag, right?
Mhm.
Even though when judgment got dispensed out, everybody got a piece.
Everybody.
Everybody got
Mhm.
peace.
Of that. Satan, him, and Eve, right?
Yep.
So when mind games are being played, we see here with Delilah, you know, not that she come at him once and he sent it back and he said, you know, if you tie me up with a rope, so forth and so on, this will happen. So and so she comes at him 3 different times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to see this at such a level of manipulation, and her ultimate thing was not even to love him, but for money.
Mm-hmm.
And then to know that you're about to destroy a man, kill him, right? That you're going to be involved with this lynch mob. You had no qualms about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people are playing games, I like what it says to have a psychological effect, or the root of it is just pure manipulation and control.
Yeah.
What is it that I have that you want to control me
Right.
to get what you want? I've seen women do that to men on a material level. I've seen even in business offices where, because something started off friendly as, can you get this letter done because my secretary is not here, to now you want to stay extra hours to finish up what he's asking you, and then talk about you hungry, and then he feels bad because his secretary is not here, and then you feel like you can play on that.
Right.
Or I seen where let's get off the man and woman thing. You bring up family, but I'm gonna tell you about even business where another guy will play somebody else because he cares about the business, but you don't care as much, but you want him to sacrifice everything for the business so you can get as much as you possibly can and put little effort in the growing of the business.
Yep.
And then manipulate. I've seen that, and so when we talk about manipulation, that can go for business partners.
Yeah.
All right. So then we're gonna take it to the church house. We're gonna take it to the church house because that's some real stuff there. But we're gonna finish up with there are many reasons. Let me give you a reason. I wrote down some reasons for people who play mind games.
Mm-hmm.
I put my A, since we're in the 21st century and we're talking about the physical. So the first one is sex. My B is gratification or emotional need, right? The reason why these people do this. C is for a personal amusement, to get you to do something to make a fool of yourself,
Right.
right?
Right.
We see this. We
see
see this
that-
on college campus when we talk about frats.
We seen it at the Oscars.
Yeah.
We go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we got D, to one up somebody, you know, to try to one up somebody, you know, to get above somebody else because somebody else is doing something. Another one, personal advancement, to manipulate to get ahead
That's
of
big.
somebody
That's big.
at
Yeah.
work. We see it all the time. to make themselves look good,
Mm-hmm.
to
Politicians.
impress somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, it happens in the family too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have another one here for power. Just to have that power over someone. I've seen that.
Yeah.
To control the relationship. Inside the relationship, we want to play mind games or manipulation to get them to do whatever you want them to do.
We
Yeah.
watch this every day on television right now.
Yeah.
You know, on the world stage.
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin, how he's playing the whole world, thinking that Ukraine is something, and Ukraine is not what he thinks they are. So it's mind games.
Yeah.
And mind games goes it's on so many different levels. That was just an example.
Yeah.
You know, in the church. I'm gonna wait for you to lead in on
Yeah.
that one.
Okay.
Somebody want to
Fine.
be a deacon.
But financial benefit. We see mind games with that.
Right.
I had in my family, one brother deceived another brother because the mother died. He went in and changed the insurance policies to take the money from the other brother, and it was 4 of them, but 2 of them had already died.
Jacob
And
and
so-
Esau.
So
Jacob and Esau.
he literally went in, took the power of attorney and took the money.
So he was Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
He did more than doing a trickster. Okay, so, and then my last one. This is a big one.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, brace yourself for impact.
Let me put my seatbelt on.
Strap in. What they say? What they say?
Strap in.
Strap in, youngins.
Yep.
So this is a big one. If you've been married and you've been through divorce and you have children, and manipulation starts with the children,
Oh my
the
God.
who should have custody.
Oh
Who
my
wants
God.
to live with who, so they can get a bigger piece of the pie, or take the house because they got the children,
Yeah.
or I want more money, so they get to tell the children, you want to stay with mom. You know your daddy don't love you. You know that woman that he with, he probably seeing don't, even if he's not seeing one. Your daddy don't have time for you. Or you know your mom no good. That man don't, you know, he don't like me. He ain't gonna take care of you like your daddy will. Manipulation and child custody is some of the worst manipulation I've ever seen.
The worst.
It's the
I mean,
worst.
I've seen
The worst.
that to be the worst.
I never paid deep attention into that manipulation with that what you just said until my fiance brought it to my attention, ironically, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Something was going on and I didn't see it because I just wanted to, I'm the kind of individual like I just want to do right
Right.
by anybody and everybody. Because at the end of the day, like I said earlier today, gentlemen, I still have to answer to that man upstairs.
Yeah.
I still have to answer to him on everything we do. So my fiance brought it to my attention to pay attention to certain things about your past
Yeah.
Right.
because there could be some manipulation in there involved, and that manipulation, your daughter could be used as a pawn
Yeah.
to get certain things, and the poor innocent child has no idea that she's being manipulated,
Used, right.
manipulated or used as a pawn. She don't know. So she was telling me, it got to a little bit of, it became a spirited debate. I'm not going
Yeah.
to say argument, but became a spirited debate.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? Now that you put it that way, honey, I'll pay more attention.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my history, my past is doing it necessarily now, and they probably have done it and they got away with it and I never paid attention to it.
Right.
Goes back to what? Mind games.
Yeah.
It's mind games, which I never paid attention to it. So trying to make me look bad. But now, thanks to my fiance, now I am aware of it because she's been through a lot of that too before.
Right.
And I'm so naive, don't know none about it. I'm like, lulu, just taking care of everybody, helping everybody. Because a lot of people are depending on me. So it's like, I don't even stop for a minute
Right.
and think,
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. Is she doing it? Is she only up and up? Is she only up and up or what? It filters down to even my siblings, my family. You know, I trust my siblings a lot, especially my youngest one. I trust him a lot to take care of things for me in Nigeria.
Right.
You know, some of these things, I'm not saying that my brother did anything wrong. He's not done anything that I've seen,
Aware,
but
right.
that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But she has alerted me to pay attention to detail.
Right. Right.
Because stuff get forward in the cracks that you don't know nothing about, and then when it blows up, you're like, I didn't know anything about it. Don't be naive to what is going on around you.
Correct.
So now, because of that, because of what I've been taught now, I'm now more of a better person. I'm still receptive to people, but I always have to, not that I don't trust people, trust is earned at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
But I have to ensure that you're transparent.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Transparency. I have to ensure that you're transparent before I can say, okay, I can trust you. Okay, you're not being manipulative or anything. So it's ironic that we're talking about this. That is part of the mind game concept as well.
Yeah.
And now I'm learning more how to pay attention more to detail. I don't have to say anything, but just put it in the back of your head. Like, okay, I remember that he or she did this to me, or is using my daughter to gain something from me, or to make me look like the bad guy. You know what's up? So I pay attention a lot more than before, because now I'm being taught.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, that last one, I've dealt with it.
yeah.
Still deal with it on some levels, right? Because I have 6 children, 3 boys, 3 girls.
God bless you.
And for those that's out there going, wow, I had 2 baby mamas, I got married, and I have 4 kids with my ex-wife. That usually summers it down like, oh, okay. Because as soon as I say I got 6 kids, they think I got 6 baby mamas out here.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Not nothing like that. But I've dealt with that. You know, I had to, my second daughter, her mother kept asking me for money for my daughter. So I'm giving it to her. I'm working, I'm giving it to her. And then after a while, I started to pay attention to detail because my mom had mentioned something. My mom said, what does she always keep needing the money for? Like, do you know what she's buying? I'm like, I don't know. She said she needed it, so I'm just giving it to her. So when she said that, I thought about it. So when she asked me for money next time, I said, what did you need it for? Oh, I need it for this. I said, okay, I'll go buy that, and I'll bring it to you.
Right.
I started doing that. And after a while, certain things just wasn't adding up. So then I went to the county and said, hey, this is my name. I have a daughter that lives in this county, and I believe I need to be paying some child support. Come to find out, the lady looked at me crazy at first. Then she said, oh, I see what's going on. Your daughter's mother, she's getting aid from the state, and she's getting money from you. I said, really?
Yep. And
She
you
said,
got to pay
yeah.
back. You got to pay back.
And she said, yeah.
back.
She said, yeah. She said the last thing she knew about you, you were in a band singing. That's all she know. I said, I just talked to her 2 days ago. I talked to her weekly about my daughter. Like, I don't understand. She's like, oh, she's trying to get money from you and from the state.
Yeah.
She said, so once we lock this in, you ain't got to worry about her always asking you for money because this is going to. I said, okay, cool.
This is your ex, right?
No, this isn't my ex-wife.
Okay.
This is my second daughter.
Okay.
So when the child support got kicked in, then I got angry phone calls.
Of course.
Oh, of course.
You mad?
By default, that's going to
Yeah.
happen.
And then my visitation with my daughter ceased dramatically.
Yeah.
Because
Wasn't
now
able
she
to
wants
see
to
her.
make it difficult for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's using the baby to manipulate stuff.
Yeah. See, I told you your father ain't no good. He don't show up on time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember mines, and it had gotten to the point. Mines came up automatically because I was military, and my son, it got to the point where it was heated, and she basically told me to my, over the phone, if you don't do X, Y, Z, then you can't see your son. So, don't challenge me. That military come out of me. I was like, well, I love my son, but I guess I won't see him. Click. Why? Because as long as I allow you, and this is the key thing, as long as I give you power over
That
me,
control over
to
you.
use me
Control.
in such a way
Mm-hmm.
to get whatever you want to get, or do whatever you want to do towards me,
Yeah.
then you will continue on. You're not going to stop. You're going to get worse, and it's not going to hurt no one but the child.
Right.
So if you're going this far, I know you're lying on me. So I'm coming with expectations that if you move this far, you have moved further.
Right.
Even with the Christmas gifts that I did send,
Right.
you're probably saying he didn't send anything. This is what mom brought you.
Yep.
Got it. So when I told her that, I didn't lose no sleep. I had a made up mind that if we're gonna go down this road, if you're gonna take me down this road and we're gonna go to war like this, then I'm strictly by the book then.
Right.
Because I ain't giving no extra. I'm gonna give exactly what the state told me to give. Well, you know he need clothes and shoes. I know one thing. I pay child support. I'm not giving you. Why? Because when I was giving it to you,
She was using it for herself.
I don't know what you were using it on.
She was using it for herself to pay her own bills.
I'm trusting you to do what you said you're going to do. But now when I'm ready to see my son, when I have time off,
Becomes problematic.
You're gonna dictate to me how I'm going to see him and when I'm going to see him.
Right.
Okay, you already know my time constraints, right? And I'm trying to be there for him. This is my thing. And then I said, well, won't you let me put him in a private school? You know what she told me? No. I want the money.
Yeah.
No, I ain't worried about his education.
She did a lifestyle expense.
Yeah. I ain't worried about. I ain't worried about him getting a great education.
Yeah.
I want the money.
Lifestyle
And I said,
expense.
oh, is that what? That's how we gonna do? Okay. Then immediately I'm gonna revert back. Why? Because it's not about the child now.
Nope.
It's about what you want and your lifestyle. It's not about that you love and care for him. It's about I want what I want to do with the money that I have not earned, but you're not spending it on the child or
Right.
trying to uplift and encourage the child to be the best the child can be
Right.
in that type of environment. And so those kind of games, and when I sat down and talked to him, he would tell me all manners of stuff. But this is the thing about being a parent. You don't have to do and play the same game. What you have to do is be a parent and love them.
Yeah.
You take that out of the middle. First of all, you ain't got a bad mouth. Save all that. Say that for that's adult business. That's a child. That child has no business being an adult
Involved in
affairs.
that. Right. Correct.
The only thing that child want to do is be loved and have fun.
Right.
You're a child. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to do as men or as women, is to project love to them, because that's all they know. Even no matter how bad their parent, that mom is,
Right.
guess what they're gonna tell you? I love mom.
Yep. Yep.
No, it don't matter how bad they get treated, they know that's mom.
Right.
I love him, or that's dad. He might be no good, never paid a dime, but they know that's dad, and I'm gonna love dad.
Right. And it's really not even the lifestyle expense. That's just one of the peels
Right,
on the onion.
right,
It's really about I'm no longer feeling protected.
secure.
I'm no longer secure.
Right,
You know, I
and
don't
you have access.
you no more.
Yeah,
So now it's about hurting you.
right,
And they're thinking it's just like when a racial slur is being used, and I've gotten to the point where when a racial slur is used against me, one, I've done my etymology on that word,
right,
and I know where it comes from. One, it don't bother me. Two, I know that that's the last card that they have in their deck
yeah,
to control you through your emotions. See, this is an emotional fight. That's what that is.
right,
The money, getting you, and the manipulation, it is an emotional fight. It's feminine warfare.
yeah. But to go on with that is to say that these these particular individuals can only, I used to say, what Jesus told Pilate when he was in the hall of judgment or decision making.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Do you not know that I have power to, to basically to not crucify you or to sustain you from, being able to live?" And Jesus comes back with, "You have no power, but only what my Father allows you to have."
Right.
In other words, you cannot touch me unless I give you, your words or your manipulation cannot control me unless I give it to you. That's the number one thing. With manipulation and control, I got to allow you to have access inside my circle for that to work, right? Because even with business partners, right? In order to be a business partner, I got to allow you inside my circle,
Right.
right? In order for a family member to get as close as they can, I got to allow you access inside my circle.
Right.
Which means I got to give you some kind of control to get close enough to me to allow you to wield that kind of hatred, manipulation, or deception.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't work when people's like, "That don't bother me." Why? Because you're not. I don't give you access to me like that.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say? He's like, "Well, Toby says the only way you getting access, I got to let you inside my circle." And who? From talking to Toby, who's inside that circle? My children, my fiance, and my family.
Right.
Notice Toby didn't say business.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say friends or associates.
Right.
He didn't say the church.
Mm-hmm.
He says these three things. Now, who can only will that towards you? Those who you allow inside that circle.
Right.
And when we talk about manipulation, we know people who have manipulated.
Yeah.
But now, I'm going to give you access now to this part here. We were talking about the church. Why you turn your head and why you...
Cause man, there's so much.
No, we'll start off somewhere.
So much.
Do you want to start off with certain ministers or pastors? Do
Michael,
you want to
run point on that. Run point.
Well, I was gonna say there's so many different ways people manipulate. Like I've dealt with it. Pastor said.
Isn't that the number one thing?
Pastor
Pastor said.
Pastor ain't said nothing.
Pastor said. In the middle of dinner, they'll say that. Wives would say that, or husbands would say that.
Mm-hmm.
It goes both ways. Well, the pastor said, "You need to do this more often."
Now, sometimes them pastors, they walking in, you could just be, "Oh, praise the Lord, you're gonna be on the praise team. We got someone singing really nice. Praise God, you're gonna be on the new praise team." You standing there like,
I am.
that's that body slam ministry I'm telling you about. That's that body slam ministry.
Caught you straight off guard.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Now let me just clarify that. Sometimes it can be manipulation, but sometimes it can be the pastor seeing something in you that God showed him to bring you to another position or another point, or to elevate you, and you will know that because fruits will follow.
Because I was going
But
to
if
ask you.
fruits
how
don't
would you know?
follow, if the fruits don't follow, then you know some manipulation in there.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, how would they know? How they going to know?
Manipulation
All right, Toby,
Yeah.
you want next?
is mind games as well. There's a lot too, Michael, like you just said. There's a lot to break this down sometimes, and it's sad, but we also have to remember that pastors are human too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds like a cop-out, but I'm going to let you go ahead on that.
Pastors are human too.
Okay.
Sometimes
I got that.
pastors can and will, to get what they want, quote unquote, to serve the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
they will manipulate the congregation.
No, I have seen that.
How many? We only got $500.
Yeah.
In the name of Jesus.
Call it!
God
I wasn't
said
trying to go there,
there's
but
somebody out there with $100 bill, and he gonna bless you if you give it today in the name. Or call in right now. We have $500 prayer kits. You'll get this prayer kit, $500 prayer kit.
there it is. There it is. There it is. Right there.
Stop.
Yeah. You forgot the water and the handkerchief.
Oh yeah. Get the holy water.
Yeah.
When I drunk this water, woo, my foot grew to the same size of the other foot. I'm healed. God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
And of course, that happens all the time. See, I was born here, but grew up in Nigeria.
Yeah.
The pastors in Nigeria, you got these mega churches in Nigeria
Yeah.
exploiting people who are struggling to survive.
Ooh-wee.
God will bless you in Jesus' name.
Yeah.
Anything that you put your hand on, you will get benefits in tenfold. All you need to do is just give us 20,000 naira, which is approximately like maybe $250.
Yeah.
200,000 naira. Give it to us today. Watch how God will do wonders in your life.
And if you
I
don't
will
do
pray.
wonders,
If you don't do
ain't
wonders,
believing.
right?
You ain't believing.
Right. I will pray. God will, all your enemies, God will send holy fire send down to cast out the demons.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I sit there and I say, my God, is this really legit?
No.
Yeah.
You talk about manipulation and realize you have to sleep at night. You're going to have to, it goes back to what I said, Mr.
Yeah.
Jones, you have to answer.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah.
How are you going to explain to God how you got money from innocent people?
Because let me tell you something. What I had learned, and when I went to school, they had did a survey, and the surprising part is they have pastors out there who actually do not believe in the virgin birth. Do not. And these are people, believe it or not, they went through seminary. They went through Bible college and stuff, and they have master's degrees. And these people actually don't believe. You have some who don't believe in the inerrancy of the Bible. And when you start getting that, and you find that people, let's say, the building fund. Oh,
That's a
everybody-
classic. That's a classic.
That's the classic.
The
right
building
there.
fund.
The building fund. And the building fund been going on for the last 20 years, and ain't nothing been built yet.
The front door's still squeaking.
But
It
the
ain't even
pastor is
fixed
riding
yet.
a new Rolls Royce,
Yeah.
and he's got a private jet. I'm not even going to put that out. Let me not open that door.
Well,
I won't open that door.
I open that door because we see manipulation on all levels, and when you see it, especially in the church house, and you go as far as to manipulate people to get financial resources, and I'm saying to myself, wow. So I heard someone say something very foolish out their mouth and say, the church is a business. And I was like, wow. And these people are call themselves pastors, and they say, oh, the church is a business.
On
Really?
some levels, it is.
No, but in the aspect of what they're saying is
Right. I know what you're saying.
they're talking about that it should be ran like a corporate entity.
But isn't there laws behind that? It was the separation of church and state.
Right, but see, the way they're running it and the way they're organizing structure, they're bringing the world's rules in, right? And we're going to run this like a small business. We're going to run this business to grow it. We need 200 members. We need 500 members. We need 300 members.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
more members I can get, the more money can get in
Right,
here, right?
right.
And then
Yep.
they're going to tell you about all the resources, right?
Yeah.
But I can't even get y'all to just do a discipleship program. Just a basic discipleship program.
Right.
I can't even get. You got people who don't even know the books of the Bible. I can't even get them after you get wet, and then they sit you on the front row, and then they shake your hand, right? Say the right hand fellowship, and then you might get communion, right? And then after then, they dump you back there on the back pew, right? And then they tell you, figure out your gift and go work. Huh? I just came off the street. What is my gift?
Yeah. A remote control.
how does that work? How do I know my gift?
Right.
What is it? Oh
Right.
well, I guess you can go on the usher board and just usher. Is that
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do? Okay,
No.
I'll go.
See,
And then you leave them out there.
right.
And the mind game was, I brung you in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I baptized you. You heard about Jesus. Now I
Mhm.
got you in here.
Mm-hmm.
You can just hang out with everybody else on the pew.
Mm.
And you're on fire, and you want to remain on fire, but you don't know what to do,
Right.
right? So there's nobody that's going to take you by your hand or say, "Come on in, let me have small group study with you,
Yeah.
so you'll understand
Mm-hmm.
the word, the logos that you have."
Right.
Right? You remember Philip chases down the eunuch, right? And he says to him, "Do you understand what you're reading?"
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what many of us do in Western culture. We all say we Christians, and then our fruit
There's
is
no
not
one
reflecting.
accordance.
Right. It's not even reflecting
Right.
the body.
Which makes it a little hypocritical.
Well, I like to say the saying. One time I seen it.
Would that be considered being
Yeah,
hypocritical?
yeah, it is.
Okay.
So it's this saying that I use all the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it goes like this. It says, "Help, I'm a Pharisee and I can't stop."
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been taught everything that the church says I'm supposed to do. How I'm
Religiosity.
supposed, yeah. And so this is where my that thing called "Help, I'm a Pharisee and I can't stop." Why? Because I know how to, even if I don't know your denomination, I know how to go in that building
Mm-hmm.
and act Christ, and
Wait.
act Christian.
Wait a minute. Did you just give us a title of your future book
Oh, mercy.
and the name?
Yeah. Help, I'm a Pharisee and I can't stop. And when you realize how religious we really are,
That's a book.
then you get to understand it's like, wow, I can walk, if I'm in the Pentecostal, if I'm in the Church of God in Christ, I know how many times the plate goes around. I know what I'm supposed to put in that tray to go around. What they do, they be like, I promise you, it was when I was younger and I seen that, it shocked me. The table was sitting out there. They asked for the offering. They got the litigated gall to count the money right in front of the people,
Oh, I
and then
grew up
say
that way.
how much they got. Oh no, I know the Lord told me, the Holy Spirit just told me that somebody's holding back. I know there's $500 more out there. Now
Many a
come on,
Sunday.
brothers and sisters, the man of God deserves this. I was like,
They counted while you walking up.
they counted the money while the people are giving, and then tell you ain't giving them.
That is
We
just
short.
flat
We short,
out-
Pastor. $200.
You don't
I
even
grew up
Yeah,
that way.
know.
yeah.
You
The
don't
deacon
even.
turn around and say, "Pastor, we short. How much? $200. Oh, then the associate pastor stand up. Pastor, I'll put that an extra $50 or $100 right here.
It's almost like street hustling.
I'm like, are we
Like,
playing? I'm like, are we
you
playing
know,
3-card
right.
Molly?
Right, right.
Are you trying to figure out where the Holy Spirit's gonna come from?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just all manipulation.
$200 from the usher boy.
Yeah. So all this manipulation inside God's house,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm saying to myself, are we? Is this for real? And then you wonder why people say what they say. The biggest con artist you ever want to see is the pastor. Right
It
there.
could be.
It's right there
It can
in the
definitely
house.
be.
Or, you know, pastor, he go over sister so and so house. You know,
Oh,
she
here
got
we go.
she's single, and you know, she got them 3 children. What you mean, pastor over there? No, he said he having prayer service with her.
Yeah, it is.
Oh
I
God.
was like, yeah, we know what kind of prayer service that's going on over there.
They having a
And-
what
and-
service?
Yeah, they having a prayer service over there.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he always over there on Thursday night? It's like, oh yeah, you see his Cadillac right there.
But
Your
it's
pastor
true.
having a what
Well,
service?
and this is not every pastor.
No,
my
it's
brothers and sisters, it's not every pastor. But we see the hypocrisy, and we're bringing up why are they playing mind games inside
The house
God's
of God.
You know, why are these people?
And people negate the fact, they forget again, and I'm an advocate of this, and I've probably said it a couple of times already today. You have to answer. You are accountable for that whole congregation. They're supposed to be God's people. You are leading these people. Using God's name is almost blasphemous.
Yeah.
You know, like you're using God's name to hustle to get money for yourself. I'm not going to name pastors tonight because I don't want my inbox people coming after me. But
Yeah.
you got people. I mean, people are trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
Right.
Right.
But here you are taking the building fund, the daycare fund, the pastor needs a new pew
Yeah.
fund.
The
you know,
pastoral care. fund.
pastoral care. You know, I understand. Of course, you know, you have to.
We have to take care.
Right.
I know you have to give the pastors something, but
Yeah.
that has to be decided by almost a board of directors. Goes back to corporate.
Yeah.
It goes like a board of director type thing. I get that.
Right.
Trustee board.
Call it.
can't-
There we go.
Look, don't even start with that trustee board. Don't even start
Right.
with that trustee board.
I'm
'cause-
gonna help you with your inbox, right? Listen, we are talking about manipulation. So the ones that's gonna call you and come at you are the ones that are guilty.
Right. Yeah.
They said hit dog or holler,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
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 So when we're talking about manipulation in the body, it was to let the everyday person know it's not just you as an individual or the people you have dated, the people you have married. We're going to talk about children next. Children, oh my goodness, children do damage too. But we're letting you know that there are people out here that play these games and these manipulations and operate in deception to get what they want or to control another human being to edify themselves,
Right.
And if we bring up the church house because the church house is where we're told judgment starts first, and we need to put them out there, right? Because they're no different than you. They are out there doing things contrary to the word of God. And his word is never to be exploited like that. And his word should never, as we call, being pimped out like it's some kind of prostitution. Like if you don't pay me, or if you don't do this for me, then you're not a Christian or you're not godly. That's the furthest thing from the truth, because we see Jesus never done that in the synagogue. Period. He's not getting paid for healing every individual that he is doing this for.
He never had. He's never held a healing service.
Right.
He's
For
never
that,
heard a prosperity service. He's never done any of those things.
Right. And so we take him and then we prostitute him, you know, and to not to call them out on what they're doing, we become hypocritical because we keep our mouths closed. Why? What you're doing is wrong. You know, there's no different than I watch manipulation where the person gets up and says, they start prophesying. So they say prophesying in the middle of a sermon, right? But then tell a brother or sister, right? I will do X, Y, Z when God speaks to me. Well, how are you prophesying up there, and yet you can't? You're saying God haven't spoke to you about this situation, but yet every week you can get up there and prophesy. Somebody's lying. You're lying on God, because you can't get up there and prophesy and then tell another brother or sister or minister that God hasn't spoken to you yet. Now somebody's lying. Somebody's flat out lying. And when you get these examples time and time again with these certain situations, then we get to call and say, either your theology is jacked up or you really don't know God. It's one or the other.
Right.
It ain't no he spoke to, no. Either your theology is jacked up or you don't know God.
Oh, there's
Right.
a third. There's a third option too. Do you know what that is?
Give me that third one.
I know, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. That's true.
I know it, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
You know, the things that I know I'm supposed to do, I don't do.
Right.
And the things that I
I ought to do.
who said
I
that?
don't
Paul,
do.
right? That's Paul, right?
Yes.
And then you have these pastors, because they do compete against each other.
Oh yeah.
But for what purpose? Tell me what
Because-
purpose. If we're all one body, right? One unit, why do I have to compete against another pastor? Come on,
Because
speak
they
to me.
want to plead, they want to prove that they know how to run a church. They know how to run a congregation.
What the hell?
They
And
get
the
the
info,
most
they get the most
membership.
offerings during the week.
But what
either
that has to do with anything?
because it makes them better. They will be able to
Better
advertise
to do
themselves
what?
better.
Come on.
My
with it.
church is bigger than yours. My church is bigger than yours because I bring in X amount of dollars in every week, and then it inspires the other pastor. I say, you know what? I got you. I'm going to have a fish fry.
Right.
I'm going to have a chicken dinner.
But you're not spiritually healthy, even though.
But you're not spiritual. Right.
But this is the problem in that statement that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
The very first problem, my church is bigger than yours. That's the problem.
It's yours. It's
No.
not God's.
Not even that. Even though that's true, not even that.
Okay.
The church is the people.
So the
You referring to your
It's
your tabernacle.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
So let's understand that.
Right.
See, and that's a lot of the issue. They done transform tabernacle into church. And now the church is the building.
And when the church is bigger, guess what? That pastor whose church is bigger systematically starts to poach people in the pew, start to poach them one by one. The pastor sends out his deacons and deaconess. Our church is better, girl. We need to do this. We need to do that. We do this in our church. Well, my church don't do all that. Shoot, maybe I need to just change congregations and resign or something.
There you go, that
You
too.
know, resign or something.
Or here's
you know
this
what?
one.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to go to a church called Holding Forth the Word of Life Church.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gotta call no names, but go ahead.
No, because I'm not gonna say nothing bad about. I'm not saying nothing bad, you know. But I used to go to Holding Forth the Word of Life Church, and then God spoke to me, and led me to the High Praise of Destiny Center, right? I'm in the grocery store one day, and I seen one of the sisters
Mm-hmm.
from the first church that I went to. And she said, how could you just leave?
Mm.
You just gonna leave the church like that? You gonna just backslide like that?
Oh, she called you.
Oh,
back
she
out.
said backslide?
Now this is a form of manipulation, right? To make me feel horrible and to bring on the understanding that I done left church.
Mind games.
But I had to tell her. I said the church is the people. Let's not forget about Acts. See, when he added on to the church, he added on to the people, and they were all outside.
Mm.
Well, nobody inside. They was outside, but he added to the church. See, the church is the people. I didn't leave the church. I just left that tabernacle. And God's building me more over here.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's seasons
Right.
to these things. Some people are meant to stay there for
Reasons and
for a certain
seasons.
for a reason, and some is just for a season.
Correct.
And I'm still growing,
Right.
you know, but I'm growing over here now.
Mm-hmm.
Say mad because you left.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what we're conditioned. That's the manipulation that's
Oh.
coming from. Don't you leave this church because you
Nah.
leave this church, God ain't going to bless you nowhere else.
And
Look,
you going to hell.
so now you got these people,
And you had that guilt trip.
they're throwing a guilt trip on other people because they think when I leave the church,
Right.
I'm leaving the church. Now the pastor got me feeling bad for leaving.
Yeah.
And they give all these people leaving the church. No, that's manipulation. Stop
And
doing
everybody forgets one thing. Didn't God say, where there's 2 or 3 people in his name,
that. He's in the midst.
call it?
So they ain't tell you he over there stealing my sheep.
Mm-hmm. He's poaching my
Stealing
sheep.
my sheep.
Stealing my sheep.
Stealing my
Poaching.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's stealing my sheep. I
Mm-hmm.
was like,
Poaching.
"Huh?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what did he say?
We
He
don't
over
know
there
this,
said,
but I know it
he
exists
steal-
out there.
He's stealing my sheep. I was like, he's stealing your sheep.
Sheep, right. But
I'm
there are
like-
pastors who are arguing right now in
And-
this city.
They feel like they're God. No, you're not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You at the same level as the usher. Same level. You just have a different calling on your life. They have a different calling on their life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And no calling is above the other one.
Yep.
Every calling is important.
Right.
Every calling is just
But-
as
but
important.
see, they have Western culture have designed it to be as such, right?
Exactly.
To make you feel inferior. Like that pastor is Jesus, and you have to go through him to be with God or to seek God.
What a
Ooh.
great manipulation tool.
And that happens across the water.
Because that is what they do, right?
Yep.
And he's no longer the mediator. He's no longer the high priest. Why? Because that pastor decided, I'm going to take the place. When we see that, it's always a declaration of what Israel did when the kingdom split. What he did, he built the golden calves so they would not go back on holy days down to Jerusalem. Why he say that? He said because if you do, they're going to turn their hearts back to Judah, and they're going to all become one again, and
Right.
I won't have any of the tribes. Make them stay here
Right.
and change the days.
Mhm.
Change the holy day. What he did was when he changed the holy day, he changed it one day, right? So they can all still worship and think it's the same day,
Right.
same time.
Like what I said across the water, at least
That was another
the congregations here, they recognize when pastors are tripping and they're acting up. But across the water, based from my experience, you have people in the pew, the congregation, they already start looking at these pastors like they're God.
Yeah.
That they don't make mistakes. They don't make mistakes. He's right. The pastor is right. My bishop is right because he has direct contact with God.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So I will talk to him. I don't care what you say. I will talk to him. He's a bishop. He's not a bishop for nothing.
Yeah.
God ordained him. And I'm like,
Brother.
do you realize that this man has slept with 5 women
Yeah.
using God's name? God told me, since you cannot have children, he told me to do it for you.
Yeah.
How do you live at night? How do you sleep at night?
Okay.
Doing that.
That's Waco, Texas.
Okay?
That's Waco. Mm-hmm. That's Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
That's all these different occults.
Right.
Jim Jones.
There you go.
Oh, that's the worst.
All these different
Jim
cults.
Jones.
You know.
Yeah.
And
Now-
that's where you get don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't drink the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid.
That's where you
Right.
get don't drink the Kool-Aid. And he killed 925 people. And that's why, and when they make the saying about don't drink the Kool-Aid, there were hundreds of black people down there.
I'm
And it
pretty
was
sure.
so many, and it was predominantly that way.
I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
warm where he is right now. But
And then,
you know.
with that, that's why it's so important to read the word for yourself, because there's all those people that met their demise following a false prophet.
Right.
They did not read the word for themselves.
Right.
Now, sometimes people are like, I read my Bible every day, but are you reading it in the mind of what you've been taught? Or are you reading it with the understanding, like, let me understand as if I know nothing at all. Now let me understand and ask questions.
Well, brothers, it is that time where
This part one.
Yeah, this
is
is
part-
part one. This is part one. We're gonna have to go back. Even my producer back there, he's starting to dance and everything. He was excited, so he's thoroughly enjoying the subject. But I know we were about to veer off into the roles of wife and husband, but we're gonna continue this as part 2 of Stop Playing Mind Games, and we're praying and hopefully these brothers will come back and we'll dive in. So I look forward to seeing you next week, next time. This is Elder James Jones. Looking forward to seeing you. Blessings to you.